Welcome to another episode of Manufacturing Extension Partnership Presents with Dawn Coleman, and I are going to be talking with three people from Habitat for Humanity in Southeast Ohio. And Dawn, it's always a pleasure talking with you.
You as well, Patrick.
And I know that the Manufacturing Extension Partnership has been very active in various different parts of the communities in Southern Ohio. And I know that you've been talking with a group that is very community active orientated.
Yes, I've had the opportunity to meet with Habitat for Humanity, and I'm excited to work on a couple projects in the future.
And it's my understanding you brought three guests today that's going to be talking about their unique programs.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to introduce these three ladies. I'll let them introduce themselves, but three wonderful people that are very engaged in the communities in Southeast Ohio.
So welcome. Let's start with you, Caitlyn. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're involved with Habitat for Humanity in Southeast Ohio.
Thank you guys so much for having us on here. We really appreciate it. My name is Caitlyn Moritz. I'm the Director of Community Engagement here at Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio. And I was born and raised in Southeast Ohio. So that is why I'm super passionate about helping families grow and stabilize their lives here. And so, yeah.
Well, that was very good, Caitlyn. We'll talk more about your involvement with the Habitat for Humanity in Southeastern Ohio. Let's talk with Melissa for a minute. Melissa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Again, my name is Melissa Best. I live in Muskingum County, and I've been with Habitat for Humanity for about 3 years now, a little over 3 years. And I was really grateful for the opportunity to work for an organization that really is interested in poverty housing and putting families in safe and affordable homes. There's such a crisis for in the housing industry right now, so it's a real pleasure to be a part of this organization. I was born on the East Coast, moved around a lot. I was a Navy brat, and my family moved back to Ohio, and I've been here for the last 40 some years. And I'm proud to live in Ohio, especially in Southeast Ohio.
Well, I know that we're all always looking forward to having people like yourself live in Southern Ohio. It seems that we just have a lot of really great people. Stephanie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Stephanie Taylor, and I am also a Community Engagement Director with Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio. I have been with the organization about 4 months now, and as these ladies said, it's an exciting thing to be a part of an organization that has a mission to share God's love by building homes, hope, and community within Southeast Ohio, where the need is very great. So I cover Fairfield and Hocking County, and I grew up in Fairfield County. So it's great to be able to do what we do in a place that we call home.
Oh, well, that's very good. You know, Dawn, most of us only hear a little bit in pieces about the Habitat for Humanity. And I learned about Habitat for Humanity when they had President Carter work with Habitat for Humanity. When did you first hear about Habitat for Humanity?
I've heard about Habitat for Humanity for years. I've just recently had the opportunity to discuss it more in depth I met Missy not too long ago, Melissa Best, and we discussed, and she's so passionate about the program, and I wanted to jump on board. So we tried to think outside the box to how we could engage local manufacturers and high schools, technical schools, try to get the youth involved as much as we can with volunteer work, but I definitely wanted to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, very good. Now, it's my understanding Habitat for Humanity builds living habitats for individuals. Is that correct?
Correct. I think that's something that Melissa and her team could explain a little bit more in depth, but they're not limited to housing. They build homes, but also, of course, we're doing this Project Playhouse, which is another level that they've just recently started.
So Project Playhouse is an awesome way for us to engage the children in the community. Oftentimes, we're obviously working with adult families when we're building homes in the community, and we have an age limit to be out on the build site just for safety reasons. So we have constantly been trying to find ways, like I said, to engage the children in the community. And this has seemed to kind of merge the two worlds, the importance of housing at a young age and the kids. And it's just been great so far. We've had tons of community support. And what the Project Playhouse actually looks like is we have about 10 teams per event. So we each have a different event in all of our counties. And we'll have about 10 teams that come out and build a customized, unique playhouse for these children and their families to take home. And at the end of the day, the kids get to come and we do a huge reveal, and it's so fun. So we're really looking forward to it.
So is it an enclosed building or is it different playground equipment?
Yeah, so it's actually one building built with all exterior grade materials, so it can weather. It can take Ohio weather. We know how unpredictable that is. But yes, so it is one building that can be built. It can be handicap accessible if it is needed to. But it's just really cool that it's designed uniquely with the kids' favorite colors, themes, characters, anything like that.
And so it's my understanding your team is going to be building in Muskingum County, correct?
We have 3 events coming up this fall. We're going to have an event in Athens County. We're going to have one in Muskingum County, and then we're going to have one in the Fairfield-Hocking area as well. 3 different events for 3 different areas in Southeast Ohio.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, Melissa, what's exciting about this project for you?
So what's exciting about this project for me is that, first of all, it's helping us raise the very much needed funds to support our mission in Southeast Ohio. Our mission is to eliminate poverty housing. So this is a major fundraiser for us in Southeast Ohio. And so we're raising the much needed money that we need. We have a fantastic team building exercise for our sponsors where they come together and they have a lot of fun on the day of the build, actually building and painting and putting together the playhouse. And in the end, a child is blessed with a playhouse that without this opportunity wouldn't have a playhouse.
So basically you're looking for companies to donate, or you're looking for individuals to donate monies or time, or both?
Well, we'll always take both. You know, our greatest need to support Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio is generally a financial contribution, which this event is geared to raise money. It's a fundraiser. We just found a way to really make it pertinent to housing. So when you build this playhouse, you're teaching the joy and pride of home ownership to a child at a very young age. And they'll learn that they need to take care of their playhouse, their little home. And we believe that it's going to help them change the way that they think about taking care of things. And again, the pride and joy of home ownership.
Huh. And Stephanie, what do you like about Habitat for Humanity and the Playhouse, this concept, Project Playhouse?
So as my counterparts mentioned, it's a great way to connect the small houses with the big houses and our overall mission, but it's also a great opportunity for these kids to start using their imagination. With the involvement of our communities, having these businesses or a group of individuals that come together to sponsor the playhouses, it's a way for them to be involved in something that may not be available to them on a larger build. Maybe this group is a little bit older and they just want to do something smaller, or the company itself is a little smaller and they'd like to be involved on a financial giving side that's a little bit more feasible for them, while bringing their team out and having a really fun day building, and then seeing how it impacts the kids at the end when we present the house, and they just see the joy and the excitement that's available, and how that same joy is on the faces of these families when we do the larger houses. So it's pretty cool.
That's interesting. Dawn, I've often wondered how Habitat for Humanity finds its recipients. And so I know that the organization has been around a great deal of time, but one of the questions that I've always wondered is, how do they pick those recipients for the projects?
That's a great question, Patrick. I think Missy or the other two could answer that very well.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our families actually have to take the initial step to contact us first. If we're talking in regards to the regular housing program, that shows their initial involvement, that they are willing to partner with us. And so then from there, our family services director, Chelsea, will contact them and fill out their more formal application after they've done that inquiry. And it goes from there to the family selection committee. They look over their housing need, their situation. And so the process is actually completely confidential, where the family selection committee doesn't see, that it's a single mom with a child. They just see the number of family members. So there is no bias there whatsoever. The family also has to be in agreement to partner with Habitat, which means that they put in at least 250 sweat equity hours to build their own home. And that can look like a lot of different things. So there might be families that aren't able to actually get out physically on the build site, but there are other ways to get those volunteer hours in. And it just makes it a really prideful process. And then also one of the biggest factors too is being able to afford their home. So the family selection committee and our family services director look at the debt to income ratio of each family, making sure that we can actually make this an affordable home for them. Because all of our homes are not given away. They are purchased with a no interest mortgage. And so that is a huge factor in making sure that, like we said, we can have these families in there for a long time and provide them with stability.
I'd like to add on that too, if I may, is that we put a lot of education into our families. So as Caitlyn explained, the selection process, but once they're approved, we do a significant amount of education on how to be a successful homeowner. There's financial literacy that is taught to them. Many of our families have not had the reason or the education to know how to budget. And that's something that we spend a lot of time with our families. We teach them how to be a good neighbor. We teach them general home maintenance. We really invest in them to make sure that we are setting them up for success. And Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio has a less than 2% default rate on our mortgages. And that is a real testament to our program. We're doing a great job with investing in these families.
I'm curious, Stephanie, and please chime in. When an individual acquires the home, but they have very little understanding of how to fix things, what do you do to help?
Yeah, so we have a new facility here at our Millfield office that provides homeowner training that they can go through prior to, but we also will be opening that up to community members as well. It helps them to learn things like completely setting a new toilet, plumbing features in the house, roofing pops that they might need to fix, putting in a fan or some electrical. And it's really just some of those home maintenance pieces that many of us, especially age 40 and under, just never really experienced and haven't had the chance to learn. And that sets them up to take care of things without having to spend the money on someone else coming in and doing that for them.
One of the things, Dawn, that I was always under the impression that Habitat for Humanity, when they would build these buildings, they were doing it, just giving it away. I did not know that it's, they're building the house for the individual, but in return, they have to make sure that it's paid for and things of that nature. So I didn't know that.
Right. There's several things that I've learned about Habitat for Humanity, because you get kind of like a set notion in your head or a thought of how it actually works, but it's so much more. And it's very beneficial. Like they said, the rate of homeownership in default rate is wonderful at this point in Southeast Ohio. So I think it's a great thing.
Well, and also, you have to have obviously land to build a structure on. So is one of the requirements that individual own land, or is that included in the price of building?
So it is included in the price of building most of the time. Sometimes we do have instances where families will have a plot of land, but we have to make sure that it is not in the flood zone or anything like that. However, we really work hard with our community relationships to get land donated. That's a huge expense for us. You know how expensive land is. And so when we can get good lots donated, it's a game changer. We're also really thankful for our land banks in our communities, because that has been one of the best partnerships that we've found for land.
No, that's interesting. Now, is it usually a lot of land or just enough to cover the building?
Depending on where we're building, the acreage kind of just differs, but normally it is just enough for the house and a small backyard, something for the family to grow in, but not large enough where they're not able to maintain it. So
the project playhouse that you're going to have being built, et cetera, I'm assuming that playhouse is going to be outside. Is that correct? Or can it be put inside the person's home?
So the playhouses that we're building, they are 4 feet by 5 feet by 6 feet tall, and they are built to be outdoor structures. So the base is very heavy and the walls are built. So ideally, we hope they put it outside. If they live in a very big house, which is highly unlikely, then they could put it inside. But the whole goal is that it's an outdoor play space. And a lot of the families that we've already been working with, that's one of the things that they've mentioned in the application on how that would bless them and their child. And it's that they have backyards that just don't have anything in them to play with, or they are too far from a park, or there's a newborn in the house. So packing up 3 kids and going to the park is a lot of work. So being able to step out their backyard and have a really cool, unique space for their children to play and grow in is a unique opportunity for them that they would not have otherwise.
So what do you include in the playhouse? Running water?
No. Nope. It's just a very simple, basic structure of a base, 4 walls, a door, couple windows. I think there's 4 windows, and a shingled roof. And so, the fun thing that the sponsors get to do with the input from the children is design it so that it may be colorful and bright and happy. And some of the sponsors might get even a little crazier and add some things to it, maybe like a little table and chairs for them to play with, or a little box of outdoor toys. It's just really up to them. We don't require that. But really, it's a place that they can then make their own as they grow into it.
And so how does an individual let you know that they would like to have a playhouse for themselves?
So there's an application process. We reached out to the community to share this opportunity. And, we're only doing 10 playhouses in one county, 10 in another, and 10. So it's going to be tough. We're doing first come, first serve on the applications because we want to be fair with everyone. And that's how we're doing it. It's a pretty simple application process for our families to fill out. And then they, as Caitlyn mentioned earlier, the children are going to tell us their likes, their colors, their favorite colors, maybe a theme, anything else that would be helpful for our sponsors as they're thinking about how they're going to paint it. They will have that in mind. So it'll be customized, one of a kind, and very special and unique for that particular child.
And are the playhouses geared towards boys and girls? And what are the age ranges that they would use this?
So we actually did not set an age gap on this, just because we know that there are some children that might be older physically, but they might still be interested in having a playhouse, and that's totally okay with us. As long as it's getting used, that's the best thing. So like we said, the playhouses are completely customized. On the application, there's a place where the families can put the themes, characters, ideas. So it's not necessarily geared toward boys or girls. It's geared towards what they want. So
It seems like, Missy, when you and I were talking at the golf tournament, it seems like, was there some type of a nomination? Like, can you nominate someone for a playhouse and start it?
Absolutely. So we have reached out to partners in the communities that we're serving and asked them for nominations for the playhouse. It's as simple as just filling out the application or giving the application to the family that comes back to us. And again, we're kind of time stamping those so we know which ones came in first, so we can be as fair as possible on that.
Okay.
we're just asking the same thing of those partners, just to make sure that that is a family that would not be able to afford it otherwise.
So is there a charge that the individual that you're doing the playhouse for has to pay, like on a like similar to mortgages?
Yep, so they do a $50 deposit for the playhouse. And once they come to the event and we get to do the reveal with the child, they will actually arrange transportation and take it home that evening. So once they do that, they get their $50 deposit back. But that gets a little skin in the game. It gets them, to make sure that making the event is a priority. And yeah, so we've had success with that so far.
Ah, very good, very good. So, how long has Habitat for Humanity been in Southeastern Ohio?
We were founded in 1990.
1990?
Yes, and we were an all volunteer run affiliate at that time. And since we have grown 7 more counties wide, so that's been amazing, just to see the impact that we've been able to have in the area.
And I'm assuming if somebody has skills, carpentry skills or plumbing skills or things of that nature, and they wanted to get involved, what would be their steps in contacting you and saying, hey, I wouldn't mind helping out?
So for anyone skilled or unskilled that would like to volunteer for our builds, they can go right to our website, which is habitatseo.org, and go under the volunteer section of that page to sign up to volunteer. There's also a great way to see our programs and some of the other things that we're involved in. And obviously, if they're skilled, we'd love to have them too. So anybody's able to come out, and the age range is 16 and up.
Before we end this, what are some things that we have missed in asking you? So we're going to do a little round robin. We'll start with Caitlyn first. What are some things you would like to share that we haven't already discussed? Anything?
Well, first of all, we'd just like to say thank you to OSU MEP for this partnership. So we kind of hit on it just a little bit before, but we are partnering with the OSU MEP program to build a playhouse. So they will be a playhouse sponsor, but they are also our safety sponsor for each one of our events. So that has been a blessing. And the playhouse sponsorship allows us to not only partner with OSU MEP, but it also allows us to partner with another manufacturer in the community. And that has just been awesome because, as we've said before, the team building aspect in this is so important. And it's just a really unique opportunity. And we're just really thankful for that.
Project Playhouse is happening in 3 of our 8 counties that we each cover. So Caitlyn's events are September 9th and September 10th. Melissa's are September 24th, and mine is September 30th.
Okay, well, that's great. We've been invited, Dawn, to come out and do some filming. I'm very interested in taking a look at the process of building one of these. Hey, we're talking with 3 individuals from the Habitat for Humanity in Southeast Ohio. Dawn, I really appreciate your bringing on these 3 guests. I learned a great deal about Habitat for Humanity in Southeast Ohio.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to working with these 3 individuals with upcoming projects and volunteering and hopefully bringing some creative ideas to some of the playhouses.
Sounds great. I'm Patrick Dingle. Thanks for viewing.